Hello, great minds, and welcome back to this lesson. It's good to have you for this round of learning in the study of music. This lesson is going to be on time signatures. Time signatures. And we shall focus on the simple and compact time. We shall be looking at the meaning of the numbers used in representing time signatures and other common names of popular time signatures. By the end of the lesson, you will have the opportunity to test your understanding by answering some evaluation questions. Now let's begin. It is always fun to be with your family, and such time affords you the opportunity to bond in different ways. One of such is through festivities where the family is seen dancing to music. Anytime we dance to the sound of music, whether it is in a concert, a dancing hall, theater, or in our homes, we're actually moving our bodies to the rhythm of the song, which is as a result of the time signature of the music we are hearing. Now, this time signature, I want to look into it and look at all the features that will help us in understanding it. We are going to look at different aspects. First, we will look at the definition. Thereafter, we want to look at the numbers, the meaning of the numbers of time signatures. We shall equally look into simple time signatures, then compact time signatures. We'll look at the exceptions in time signatures, then finally the evaluation questions. Now quickly, let's look at the definition. How do we define time signature? What is time signature in music? Time signature is the notation that tells you how music is to be counted. Yes, how music is to be counted. That is not all. It does this by telling you how many beats are in such measure or bar. How many beats do we have in each measure? And it also tells you what kind of notes has got one beat. The number of beats in each measure or bar is represented by the upper number, while the kind of note that has got one beat is represented by the lower number. And so we have the upper number, we have the lower number that make up the time signature. Now the common examples of time signatures are, we have the 4/4 time, we have the 3/4 time, we have the 2/4 time. So this is the simple way of defining what time signature is. Now we're going to go to the second section of lesson, which is the meaning of the upper number and the lower number of time signature. Now let's look at the top number. What does it stand for? The top figure in time signature, of course, you know it has two numbers, so we just want to look into their what they mean and what they represent. Now the top number tells you how many beats will be in each measure or bar. How many beats are there? So in the above example, we have this 2/4 time. What this means is that the 2/4, the top number now is 2, the 4 is the bottom number. So with that 2 there, that means we have 2 beats in each measure of that particular song. Now if it's a 3/4 time, that will be 3 beats also. Like you have it here now, we have 2 beats in each measure because 2 is on top, and then thereafter you can always count every measure of that song. If you add up all the notes, the value of the note is going to give us 2 beats. Now we have 3 counts, we have 3 beats in each measure where the top number is 3, and it could be 4 as well. it could also be 6. So the top number can be anything, but the common ones are 2, 4, 6. We have 9, we have 12, are pretty much in that order. So that is what the top figure, the top number in the time signature represents. It's just the count, the bits. So we just to count. It's going to be 2, it's going to be 4, it's going to be 6, it's going to be 9, it's going to be 12. Okay, now the bottom number is the next in line, and now the bottom number is very, very important, because if you know the top number, by saying okay, it's going to be 2 bit, for instance, it's going to be 4, or it's going to be 6, or it's going to be 9 or 12. Now with the bottom number will enable us to know which note is going to get 1 bit. Because if we don't know the note that is going to get 1 bit, then we have not actually known the time signature, because it's the note that is going to get 1 bit that will help us to master the time signature. So the bottom number now tells you what type of note. Is it the whole note? Is it the half note? Is it going to be the quarter note that gets 1 bit? Now the most common time signature has a 4 as its bottom number. Okay, it has a 4, but remember, you still remember fractions and the other names of the music notes. Yes, we have the whole notes, we have the whole notes, we have the half notes, we have the quarter notes. Okay, we have the quarter notes, remember 1/4 quarter notes. Okay, we have the 8th note, and so on. You know, we have different notes, and these are the other names. These are the way we refer to them: whole, half, the quarter, and the 8th. And so if you observe in the example we have here, we have the 2/4 time. Now remember, we're talking about the bottom number now. Now you will see that the 4 beneath there, take it to be that the 4 at the bottom in the time signature, you know that there's which of the notes now has this same 4, just as we have it in fraction under. Which of the notes can we refer to that has 4 in the fraction under? That would be the quarter note. That is the quarter note. So this 4 now actually is now standing for the quarter notes. It's representing the quarter notes. So that is how we interpret the bottom number of every time signature. So it's possible that we are going to have other numbers. If it's going to be 2, for instance, that of course you know that if it's going to be 2, then it will not be referring to the meaning note. The meaning note, because it's the meaning note that has 2 under in the fraction there. And then if it's going to be 8 underneath, that means it's referring to the bottom number, will be referring to the quiver note. So what does that mean is that whether it's the meaning note, whether it's the quarter note, whether it's the quiver note, or the 8th or the 8th note, that means that these are the notes that will be taken to have 1 bit. Then thereafter, if we know that these notes are the ones that have 1 bit, we can now find the values, the bits of every other note that is used in the song or in the music piece. So, but remember, the very or the most common of the bottom notes is usually the 4. It's very common in most pieces. The time signature you find at the bottom note is 4, but that does not mean we cannot find other kind of time signatures representing other notes, making those notes 1 bit each. So that is all about the bottom number of the time signature. Let's go to the simple time signatures now. The simple time signatures. Now our time signatures can basically be divided into 2. We have the simple time signatures and we have the compound time signatures. Now for the simple time signatures, we can classify the simple time signatures into three parts. The first one is the simple duple, then we have the simple triple, and then we have the simple quadruple. Okay, just from the name, just from the name. If you look at this table on the screen, just from the name, you will notice that the simple duple means that it has 2 as the top number. The duple stands for 2. So simple duple means that we have 2 as the top number of the time signature. So irrespective of the bottom number, of course, you know that the bottom number must represent either a crochet or a meaning or a quiver, probably, or any other kind of note. But these are the 3 major notes that the bottom number usually represent. But the top number this time enables us to classify the time signature into the 2 types that we have, either simple or compound. So the simple duple therefore means the top number is having 2 bits in each bar or measure. Now let's go to the next one, which is the simple triple. The simple triple, yes, you cannot guess now. What do you think the top number will be? Even from the table, the simple triple, we have what? We have 3. Yes, the simple triple, we have 3 as the top number. We have triple there. Triple means 3. So it could be 3 4, which means 3 crochet beats in a bar. It could be 3 2, which is 3 mini beats in a bar, or 3 8. Of course, that means 3 beats. 3 beats. There's 3. Okay, so that is that. That is that about the simple triple time. Then we now have the next one, which is the simple quadruple time, meaning we have 4 beats. 4 beats. The beats on top is going to be 4. That is the essence of the quadruple. So we have simple quadruple means we have 4 beats in it, but that 4 could stand for the 4 underneath. Now could stand for the quarter note. It could, if it's 2 underneath, the 2 will now stand for the mini note. If it's 8 underneath, then that 8 will not stand for the quiver note. So we have 4 beats in a bar, simple quadruple. So what this tells us that, generally speaking, the upper number of the simple time signatures is usually 2, 3, and 4. So the simple time signatures, the upper number of the time signature is not more than 4. Okay, so the moment is more than 4, is no more simple. Just take note of that. The moment the upper number is more than 4, we don't classify it as simple time anymore. Okay, now let's go to the next one, which is the compound time signatures. The compound time signatures. Now for compound time signatures, we can equally classify it into 3. We have the compound duple, then we have the compound triple. There, can you guess the third one now? Yes, the compound quadruple. Yes, we have the compound quadruple. Now again, for the compound duple, now I want you to take note of this. Now for the compound time, it is compound because the main bits of the compound time signatures, they are all dotted notes. They are all dotted notes. The main bit, okay, is a dotted note. Now for the compound duple is we have dotted notes. So if we're having the quarter note, for instance, or the crochet bit, we have a dotted crochet. That means if it's a dotted note, that means we have it has 3 pulses. We have 3 pulses inside, because for a dotted crochet we are going to be having 1 2 3 1 2 3. So you have that tap, you see, so you get 3 pulses in each of the beats. So each beat is subdivided into 3. So what that means is that for the compound time signatures, they are in multiples of 3. Okay, they are multiples of 3. That is the essence of the dot. No, that's the end of the dot after each of the beats. No, it is using a dotted note. Okay, I'm trying to explain how the beat is. Now we have 3 pulses. So for every beat has this form of 3 pulses that make up that beat. So if, for instance, we now have for the compound duple, we said it's 6 8. We said it's 6 8. Why? Because we can have that multiple of 3 inside. So if that will give us 2. If we divide 6 by 3, that will give us 2. So those 2 bits there are they have 3 pulses inside for each of them. That is why I say dotted crochet or a dotted quarter note. So we have the 6/8, and that means that particular the 8 underneath now tells us that which note is there for 1 beat. That's what the 8 is representing. So when we have a 6/8, it therefore means that it's the quiver note, because the note that has the 8 figure underneath in the name of the note, that is the quiver note. That's the quiver note, or the 1/8 note. So that means we now have 6 quiver notes in a bar, because it's 6/8. I'm using the compound duple now. So we now have 6/8 of that note. So 6 quiver notes in a bar. And if we break it down, that's what makes it duple now. When we break that 6 down, is you know, by since it's a multiple of 3, so that gives us 2. So that's how we now have the duple there. So you see the compound duple time, it's a dotted crochet, because once we divide that quiver notes into 3, by 3 now, if we divide the quiver note by 3, we have 2, which is 3 3, and we want to represent those 3 bits as 1. Then we are now going to use a crochet. Remember, it's a quiver note, but if we now have to divide 6 quiver notes into two parts, we have 3 set of 3s, another set of 3s. So, and those 3, that will give us a dotted crochet, because a dotted crochet has 3 quivers inside. Then the other dotted crochet has 3 quivers inside. So that's how we got the dotted crochet bit, which is 6/8 for the compound duple. Then the same, we can do the same for others, like the 6/4. That will be the dotted mini bit. That means we have 3 crochet bits in the dotted mini, another 3 crochet bits in the dotted mini. The same for the dotted quiver bit. That means we have 6/16. That 6/16 means we have 6 semi-quiver bits. 6 semi-quiver bits. Okay, 6 semi-quiver bit, because 16 stands for the semi-quiver note. So that is how we have it there for the compound triple. That will give us 9. So we observe that for the compound time signatures, the upper figure for the duple time will be 6. Yes, it will be 6. And then if it's a triple time, it's going to be 9 for the upper figure for the compound triple. And thereafter for the compound quadruple, the upper figure now will be 12. So take note that for the compound time signatures, the upper figure is either 6 or 9 or 12. So these are the common upper figure for the compound time signatures. Now let's not forget that the upper figure is what actually differentiates both time signatures, whether it is simple or whether it is compound time. It is not necessarily the bottom figure, it is usually the upper figure that separates the simple time from the compound time. Now let's look at the exceptions in time signatures. We have exceptions. The exceptions I want us to take note of is basically in the time signature of 2/4 or the 3/4 time. Now a whole rest is used for a full measure of rest. A whole rest. Now you know a whole note now, so the rest sign will not be. A whole rest is used for a full measure of rest, even if there are only 2 beats or 3 beats in each measure. These 2 beats or 3 beats, a whole rest is usually used. So in writing music, a half rest and a whole note are never used. A half rest and a whole note are never used in 2/4 or 3/4 time. So if it's a 2/4 time or a 3/4 time, we never make use of the half rest or the whole rest for a whole measure. So if we want to put something in a whole measure, in a full measure now, in a full measure, that is a measure or a bar that does not have anything, we can't use a half rest to represent a full measure, because the time signature is 2/4. No, Even if the half rest represents 2, we can't put it there because that measure is empty. We must use a whole rest. In the same vein, we can't use a whole note. So take note that these are the exceptions. We cannot use a half rest. We cannot use a whole note in a full measure. In an empty measure, full measure, complete, we just put those 2 notes there. No, we can't use that when it has to do with 2/4 time or 3/4 time. This is the exception. Okay, now let's note that there are some common time signatures. No, I said this when we started. Now the 4/4 time is equally called the common time, and it has this symbol like C. It has this symbol C, and sometimes in the 4/4 is not written after the clef. You just see the C is placed there. The same as 4/4 time, and it's referred to as the common time signature. Now there's another time signature that is as common as the 4/4 time. It's called the 2/4 time. The 2/4 time. Now the 2/4 time is also called the alabrif. The alabrif, and that is how you have that stroke, that vertical stroke on the C, showing that almost like showing that you are dividing it into 2. So you divide the top bit into 2, so you have a 2/4 time. So the 2/4 time is called the alabrif, and it has that symbol, that C with a stroke across it, standing vertically across it. So that is about the popular time signatures that has other name that we use in calling them or representing them. So now let's go to the evaluation questions. We are done in our study. The evaluation questions I want you to check are: the first one, it says, what is time signature? What is time signature? You should be able to explain what time signature is. You should know what the upper figure and what the lower figure stands for. The second question says, what do the upper and bottom numbers mean in a time signature? What do the upper and bottom numbers mean in a time signature? The number 3, name the 2 categories of time signature. Name the 2 categories of time signature. And number 4 says, give 2 examples each of the following time signatures. The first one is simple duple time. The second is the triple compound time. Give me 2 time signatures that are simple duple, and then 2 other time signatures that are simple at the triple compound time. Okay, give me examples of time signatures that you can classify as simple duple or simple compound time. So that brings us to the end of the lesson. I hope you have enjoyed the class, and more importantly, you have understood the lesson. See you next time. Have a nice time. Bye bye.